national voice across the country. This is RightLine with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Let's face it, retirement has gotten more complicated, taxes go up, markets swing, and most people are just guessing their way through it. But you don't have to. Certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend has been helping families right here in Southwest Florida for over 40 years retire with confidence, not guesswork. He even wrote a book called Making Waves in Retirement, and he wants to send you a copy absolutely free. So look, it's about retiring with confidence and peace of mind. All you need to do right now is pick up your phone and text the word book to 239-579-9992. That's book to 239-579-9992. Look, don't wait. Text the word book to 239-579-9992 right now.
What does life after service look like? Kicking back? Taking it easy? We believe it looks a little different. Fighting for all veterans. Making sure they get the benefits and care they've earned. Rebuilding communities after disaster strikes. And adapting to support today's veterans, meeting them where they are. The VFW, still leading, still advancing, still serving. Get involved at stillserving.org.
I can trace family members who served from World War I to today, each one helping shape who I am. My family chose to share their stories with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. Voices, letters, and memories that bring their service to life. Searching for their stories was easy. You can discover powerful stories too, told through the voices of America's veterans. Explore, remember, and share at loc.gov/vets.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
The other day, a man called saying my electric was way past due. He threatened to turn off my power if I didn't buy a gift card to pay the bill. I said, look, fella, I wasn't born yesterday. Gift cards are for gifts, not for paying bills, and I'm sure as heck not buying you a gift. So I hung up on the crook, and my lights never went out. Know the signs of scams and leave scammers in the dust. If someone asks for a gift card as payment, it's likely a scam. A public service message from the Better Business Bureau.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
This is RightLine with Drew Steele.
Well, hey everybody, glad you're joining us today on RightLine. My name is Drew Steele, Big D on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at RightLine News on YouTube and X. Another busy weekend. If there's any breaking news, we will have it for you. That's part of the reason why we're here. So just stick around here with us. Thanks for making this program a part of your day across the country. Coming up, we've got what's going on in Michigan. What is going on in Michigan? Is it possible, maybe, sort of, kinda, a little bit, tiny bit, a little bit, the people in Michigan, the Michiganders, as it were, are gandering at what the Democrats are offering, and the Michiganders gandering are like, yeah, I don't want to gander at this. Like, they don't even want to see this. As a matter of fact, there are people who are Democrats who are like, hey, I think I'd like to vote for the Mike Rogers guy because the ESA stuff is a little way too out there. So we'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. And also, we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Look, the WNBA is funny. I mean, it's not funny in that the players that are playing are not trying their best to do a whole lot of basketball playing and to impress the people that are paying to see the game itself. Not that. I mean, it's funny how they are trying to position themselves of having more tolerance than you. And then when somebody comes along and says, hey, I'm reading the bylaws, and it seems like I can play for you guys, like Enes Kanter has talked about, the former 11-year center in the NBA. And he's like, I want to declare. And people are like, you do? Okay. And then the WNBA is like, oh, hold on a second. They're panicking. But why would they panic? Why should they worry? Well, we're going to talk about that coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's do this. So I guess there was an all-nighter last night, and a couple of things happened. One of them was not one of the things that we wanted. See, I know that everybody was looking last night late into the evening hours and early morning and staying up and watching on their C-SPAN. No, they're not. They've got a life. But they're really concerned that there are things that when you have Democrats and Republicans that agree, like they don't agree on anything, except for the Safe America Act, which it feels like everybody's agreeing on, and we can't get this across the finish line. People are getting frustrated. And I guess Fox was talking about it this morning because they passed a couple of things we'll get to in just a second, but there's something that they didn't.
Now, as we say, what they didn't do was almost just as important. They did not pass the Save America Act. That's something that a lot of conservatives said we have to get passed before the August recess.
Yeah, and not just conservatives, not just Republicans, but Democrats have said it too. There's probably some independents that are out there are like, yeah, I like the idea of somebody showing who they are and the fact that they're able to vote. I'll bet you there's some people that are probably in, I don't know, whatever party you've got some in that are making up stuff. Maybe not DSA, but, you know, the Whig Party, they want to bring that back. What else?
In fact, they are going on recess here. They're going to have these brief pro forma sessions over the next 5 weeks. In fact, the next legislative session in the Senate is going to be September 15th.
September 15th is the next time they're going to have. Okay, let me see. It comes to midterms. Carry the 3. That doesn't sound like we've got enough time to pass this. Yeah, we don't have enough time now to pass this because we missed the chance.
They didn't have the votes to pass a budget resolution that would allow them to deal with some election integrity issues. And they also didn't pass a college sports bill. There was some thought that they might be able to do some sort of a test vote on that. President Trump put out a tweet on Truth Social last night saying that, he was very concerned about trying to get this done, wanted them to stay in session in August to say, hey, this is important, stay in session, get it done.
Yeah, can I just stop for just a second, if you don't mind, sir? Thank you. If it's important to the president, should it not be important to the party to at least give it the vote? It's a funny thing on the way to what is the August recess. You have people like John Thune, who just the other day was saying to people, and I can probably pull the clip up. I got to find it. But when he was saying to the press, you know what we need to do? Here's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we hold Democrats accountable because they're the ones that are not supporting it. So we need to go out and are you going to send a strongly worded letter to? I mean, is that what we're doing now? Are we going back to the Rhino days where we go out and we say the Democrats are not allowing us to do what we want? Like, is that no? Why don't you actually have everybody on record, including Republicans? I'm cool with that, and show us that this is what's going on. And then maybe we can talk. But in the meantime, all right, he's got a couple more things he wants to say. Go ahead.
There was some internecine fighting between Republicans about passing that, where some said that the bill did not go far enough to ban men from playing women's sports. And President Trump, in his Truth Social post, said, quote, anyone who tells you otherwise is lying.
We're going to get to all of that coming up. So just to sum all this up in this moment here for this weekend, overnight Friday into Saturday morning, the Republicans and some of the Democrats, they're all there on Capitol Hill. They're ready for the recess that's coming. And they're all like, look, can we get the Save America Act passed? Can we do a couple of things? Nope. There's other things that we can do, but we can't do that. As a matter of fact, here's the moment where it was happening. And if you listen, and first of all, if you listen, you will hear the screaming and yelling. I mean, not the screaming and yelling, the loud nay votes from Senator Ashley Moody out of Florida, Senator Mike Lee from Utah, among others, while this was happening, the motion to invoke cloture. Now, I know what you're going to see here. Let me just stop for a second. If you're watching at RightLine News on YouTube and X, right now you see John Thune standing there at the podium, and you see what looks like, I don't know, I'm not sure who it is. It's too far away from my screen to see exactly who that is. But there's somebody to the right of John Thune who pretty much looks like he's ready to go to sleep. It was a late night last night. All right, so John Thune.
Went to the previous order.
Here we go. Here's the vote.
Questions on the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
That was Mike Lee, among others.
The ayes have it.
Yeah, the ayes have it, and we don't like the. In this case, we don't like the ayes. Sorry. So that was the actual vote when it happened. But you had a lot of people who objected to walking away without getting the Save America Act passed. You had Congressman Byron Donalds from the state of Florida, who was on Fox on Saturday morning, who was talking about, look, at this point, it might be a really good idea if we just start thinking about the filibuster. And
100% correct. This is why he has supported major changes to the Senate filibuster, essentially requiring U.S. senators to hold the floor if they want to filibuster legislation, because what happens is they just withhold their vote on common sense legislation like requiring voter ID in our elections. Simple stuff that everybody agrees on, they withhold their vote.
Yeah, not everybody agrees on, because there's some people who live in the interworlds of Neverland and don't have access to a printer or something like that.
And then they just go home. And this is disrespectful to the people of our country. It is overwhelming that the American people want voter ID in our elections, and that they also want to make sure that people who are voting are American citizens.
Yeah. What are we going to do next? I mean, let's just get down to it. What are we going to do now? What do we do in this situation where we have an electorate, not just Republicans, but we have an electorate, Democrats, independents, Republicans, who all understand the value, the importance of being able to show who you are, to prove that you are a citizen of the United States. And I know there's some, oh man, if I can find this Kamala Harris video, and I'm going to try to find this because I had this just earlier today. And if I can find this, it'll be, it's fun. Because, anytime you got Kamala Harris audio, it's always going to be fun. It's
not Kamala. It's not Kamala. It's Kamala. Kamala Harris.
I know. No, it's okay. And I think she was talking about how outrageous it would be to suggest that we have people that we're going to be able to go out and vote and show identification. This is something that, here it is. Okay. This is fantastic. Do we want to play this? Yeah, we can play this right now. Go ahead.
This president is trying to push this SAVE Act.
Yep, we are. It's not just the president. We want to as well. I mean, we're pushing it.
Which basically would require that for people to register to vote, you're going to have proof of who you are.
Now, okay. I understand that the Democrat Socialists of America have taken over the Democrat Party and how easy it must have been for them, because there were probably some people that were sitting around in a room, a DSA room. I don't know what that looks like, but it probably smells. But anyway, I digress. So they're sitting around in a Democrat Socialist of America room, and allegedly it smells. And they're sitting around and going, you know what? We'd love to infiltrate the Democrat Party because they're a big tent. And so we like to get into big tents because they'll accept us. It'll be like a Trojan horse, and then we can take over the party. And people are like, they're never going to do that. They're too smart for that. It's funny, and then you start hearing the politicians that are in the Democrat Party, and you're like, no, that's the perfect plan. It's like, no, they don't sound like they're very wise. So there's Kamala Harris, who just yesterday is like, yeah, you know what? He wants us to show proof of who we are.
Through a passport, which a lot of Americans don't have.
Yeah.
Or a birth certificate.
Let me just stop for a second. Okay. So, number one, the condescension. You don't have a passport. You don't have a birth certificate. Never will you be able to find one. You won't know where to go. You won't know who to ask. You couldn't figure it out on your own. It's impossible. The minute you're born, it's like, man, you better not lose that birth certificate because you can never get it back. And as far as passports are concerned, there's no place that you can go online. Even the places that you go online to actually get the passport, there's no place that you can go to actually get said passport. Now, you may say, well, you don't understand, Drew. There are people that can't afford passports. There are people that can't afford birth certificates. Is that what you're suggesting? Because we can make accommodations for people who can't afford these things. If you can prove that you can't afford it, I'm cool with that. And then the second part is how you have people who are just saying, you don't understand. They can't do it. It's impossible. And we all know it's not. By the way, there's some more fun stuff on Kamala Harris that we'll talk about later, because she is getting behind Michigan Senate Democrat candidate Abdul El Sayed as if the Democrat Socialists want anything to do with her. You do realize that when it comes to Kamala Harris and the hope and the thought and the prayer, I'm sorry, we don't say prayer in the Democrat Party, the hope and the thought that she might actually be nominated once again for president, you realize the Democrat Socialists run the show, and they're looking at you and you're like, you're old school. Sorry, you're OG. As the kids like to say. Right, D? Don't the kids say OG? I think so. I just did. So we'll get to that, among other things, coming up in just a second. But first, anytime you want to watch, at RightLine News on YouTube and X. And do not forget, if you want to revisit or peruse the program, that's a weird way of putting it. But if you want to check it out after the show is done, maybe you missed something or you want to hear it again because you thought it was awesome. I mean, there's probably one person in the country that feels that way. You can go to RightLine News with Drew Steele. You'll find it at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Do we want to talk about Michigan right now? I guess we can. I mean, there's so many other things, but why don't we get to this? So the Democrats are really sweating right now. They're realizing that polling, people who are talking about the race in Michigan for Senate, for example, the fact that someone who has said some of the worst things you can imagine, like we deserve 9/11 and different things like that, that a Democrat candidate for Senate would say something like that in Michigan, and Michiganders are like, I'm not feeling that, and are a little worried. And even places like CNN, who this week were sounding the alarm on this, they're looking at the numbers and they're like, I got to tell you, the numbers are not panning out very well for Democrats as far as who wants to step up and vote for the Democrat Socialist, and who might think, hey, it's probably another choice.
The last couple of days in Michigan, I got back yesterday, and it's not just the elected leaders who feel that way. I've been talking to voters who were at Haley Stevens events leading into the primary, or at various polling places. I was in Dearborn, in Detroit, in Birmingham, where Haley Stevens is from, and all over the place, people who are voting for Stevens were saying they do not know that they can vote for El Sayed.
They don't know if they could vote for him. What's the choice?
They were saying that they might take a look at him. They might vote for Mike Rogers. Now, it's important, because this was such a divided primary, to note that a lot of El Sayed voters were saying the other side of that, which is that if Stevens had won, they didn't know that they would vote. A lot of them were saying they would stay home.
Wow. Well, that's kind of the predicament, conundrum. D, is that the right word? Conundrum? Thank you. Yep. Thumbs up from D. Yeah, the conundrum that they're in. So would you look at that? So in Michigan, you've got people who are like, I can't do it. I can't vote for Abdul El Sayed, the Democrat Socialist. And funny enough, on the other side, the Democrat Socialists are like, yeah, I'll stay home than to vote for Haley Stevens. Know this, everybody. Those same DSA members and those same people who voted en masse in the college town, the college kids, that's how he was able to surge and get across the finish line. Not working class, and we're going to get to that. Not the working class in the party. But they said, we're not going to vote for Haley Stevens, who, by the way, is what you would call establishment and what you would call a candidate like a Kamala Harris or a Hakeem Jeffries or a Chuck Schumer, a very kind, gentle man who we...
You won't know what hit you.
Not really. Not really. And now they've got to figure this out. What do we do? Do we vote for Mike Rogers? And I love that Mike Rogers did this. So you have the Republican in Michigan who clearly understands what's happening there and sees it just like you do, just like I do, that there are enough people who can be peeled off in the moment from the Democrat, especially from the independent side, but from the Democrat side, who are just not ready to make that leap, probably ever. So this was great that he took the social media, Mike Rogers did, and said,
if you're among the majority of Democratic voters that woke up on Wednesday feeling, well, hopeless, because the person who won does not represent your values, well, just know there is still hope. Michigan deserves a senator who is ready to sit with you, hear from you, and represent you. The parents across Michigan who want an education system that sets up their kids for success. You have a home with us. To grandparents across Michigan who are heartbroken from watching their kids and grandkids leave the state. You have a home with us. To young people who are looking for real solutions to solve our housing affordability crisis. You have a home with us. To working families who don't want higher taxes and lower paychecks, well, you have a home with us.
Now, if you haven't figured it out by now, this is 47 seconds of what is a minute and 22 seconds on social media. There's a lot of things that are going on in Michigan, and all the things that he mentioned, you have Democrats that are looking and going, the Democrat Socialist is not going to help us with these issues. And Mike Rogers saying, look, you got a home with us.
And to the vast majority of people across Michigan who do not want to throw their support behind a campaign filled with anger, divisiveness, calls for violence, and the views that are out of touch with your values, well, you have a home with us. The fight is far greater than just left versus right. The fight is for the very soul of our nation. Over the next 90 days, I'm going to work hard to earn your trust, to earn your support, and earn your vote.
Now, let me just stop for a second, because this was great. Mike Rogers, the Republican candidate there in Michigan, who was making the plea to Democrats on social media that we get it. We know exactly how you feel right now. But there's also another side to this, because there's always opportunity. Yeah, there's a win. There's the possibility that Mike Rogers will be able to get a few people who either will stay home, and by staying home will count the votes that come in even more. That there could be Democrats like he's describing that are going to basically, I don't know, you want to say hold your nose, but for them it is. holding their nose and voting for Mike Rogers because at least they feel safe and they feel like this is somebody that's going to work hard to do the right thing and certainly not destroy things like the Democrat socialists plan on doing. But there's another aspect to this that I think is important. I think that when something like this happens, it takes me back to, I want to say it was George Bush. And we talked about this the other day, Dee. Remember when George Bush was basically appealing because I guess they were talking about, I'm trying to remember what year it was. And it was the African-American vote and how all the time people were suggesting that, everybody gets put in a box and everybody has a place to go. And, there's a certain a group of individuals that will always vote Democrat because, well, we don't really know why they do that all the time. It's a strange thing how you're always counting on them. And the fact of the matter is it's so condescending. And so George Bush was like, his case was to make to the African-American community at the time was, what do you have to lose? Do you remember that? And among other things, people were like, yeah, what's the problem here? Or was it Donald Trump? Was it Donald Trump who said this? Oh, was it Trump who said that? I'm trying to remember. Now I feel bad. I don't remember if it was. Listen, if you want a social message, if you want to go on social media right now, you can do that at RightLine News on YouTube and X just to remind me. Help me out. It's okay. Listen, we're a family show. I mean, me and you together, us, we are family. I tell you when I don't know something. I don't remember, but anyway, the point is that what an opportunity. Because if you do end up bringing those Democrats in Michigan, if you do get someone who's going to give you the benefit of the doubt, then the thing you have to do, Mike Rogers, and this is a lesson for every Republican, number one, you go to the places that people don't expect you to go. If there are places that are Democrat heavy, there's a community meeting that's happening in some place close to you or even far away in the state, you go there and you visit. You talk to them because as a senator, they are your constituents, every single one of them. Hear them. Let them know that I'm here. And if you hate me politically, okay, but you're still my constituent and I'm going to be here and I'm going to listen to what you have to say. Let's talk. And then the second part of this is what an opportunity. Because if you deliver on what you say you're going to deliver on, you keep those voters. You keep them. Now, I don't know whether or not they're going to switch parties from Democrat to Republican, but I do know that if you deliver for them, they certainly will deliver for you. And that's a big deal. That's everywhere. I don't care if you're in the state of Florida, state of Ohio, in the state of Texas, in the state of Georgia right now, wherever you are listening to the sound of my voice across the country. Doesn't matter. It's a great lesson. Go to the places that people don't expect you to go. Deliver a message, let them know that you're just as much as a constituent as anybody else, and then deliver. There you go. Boom. All right, let's take a break. Top of the news from the RightLine newsroom is next. My name is Drew Steele. It's RightLine.
RightLine with Drew Steele.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. Got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
Homes for Our Troops build specially adapted homes with features that allow our veterans to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free, thanks to our donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection. And hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world. From bow and arrow to hook and bullet, as man evolved, our link to those traditions remains. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt, to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. Misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it are leading a war against our heritage. In their misguided policies and protests, they demonize hunters and belittle our way of life. The result? Hunters leaving the sport in droves while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system. A system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much left because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part? Knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to RightLine with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch, at RightLine News on YouTube and X. And by the way, we are live 4 to 6 p.m., so if you want to call, you're listening to us live, 866-588-8303. 866-588-8303. No matter where you are across the country, you can call right now if you would like. And whatever's on your mind, you most certainly can let us know. All right, top of the news from the RightLine newsroom right now.
Top of the news, national headlines now.
All right, AP is in the RightLine newsroom, and she's got the latest for us. Let's find out what's up. What's up?
Hey there, Drew. Hey. Topping the news right now, a rare moment of bipartisan agreement on Capitol Hill as lawmakers from both parties move to crack down on protests that disrupt religious services. That's a story that tops our news right now here on RightLine News. Republican Congressman Brad Knott of North Carolina and Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi of New York are introducing legislation that would make it a crime to knowingly block or disrupt people trying to attend a religious service. Now, this is a bill that would create penalties for protests that take place within 100 feet of a house of worship entrance during the hour before and the hour after a scheduled service. Supporters say the goal here is to try to protect people's right to worship without intimidation, while still protecting First Amendment rights by focusing on disruptive actions, not the content of someone's speech. The legislation comes after several high-profile incidents involving protesters interrupting religious services. Well, there's a group of New York City homeowners, and they're now taking legal action against Mayor Zohran Mamdani's administration over a controversial new tax on luxury second homes. The homeowners filed a lawsuit claiming the city botched the rollout of a new tax. They say it unfairly forced residents to prove that they live in their homes full-time. The tax here targets certain high-valued second homes, including some of the properties worth more than $5 million. The lawsuit alleges the city's decision to publish a list of nearly 1 million properties that could potentially be subject to the tax, arguing that that move caused confusion and a lot of panic among the homeowners. And that lawsuit is now asking a judge to remove the list and delay enforcement of the tax. The Mamdani administration has not commented yet on that lawsuit. Well, the Trump administration is accusing Duke University's law school of illegally considering race in its admission process. The Justice Department sent off a findings letter to Duke saying the school used other factors as stand-ins for race, including things like personal essays and whether applicants were first-generation college students. Assistant Attorney General Harmet Dillon of the DOJ's Civil Rights Division said that schools cannot use diversity policies as a way to carry out illegal racial preferences. The Justice Department said that it's seeking a settlement with Duke in this case. The school says it is reviewing the findings and remains committed to following the law while advancing its academic mission. The action against Duke comes after the Supreme Court's 2023 decision that ended affirmative action in college admissions, and as the Trump administration continues investigating other universities over their admissions practices. All right, that's a look at your news headlines here on RightLine News. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP, we appreciate you there in the RightLine newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories that they're working on, you can go to rightlinenews.com. That's the website. And anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303. And we... What?
Drew Steele. Fact check.
All right. So the newsroom... When the newsroom wants to fact check me on something, that's the sound effect. All right. So what are we checking on there? Yes. Okay. So earlier we had me saying that what do you have to lose to the African American community when they were told that they always vote in lockstep for Democrats? And it's like, well, hold on a second. Why is that the case? And I said it was George Bush, but we had Janice. Is that right? Janice on social media who reached out and said it was Trump who said it. All right. So it wasn't George Bush. Okay. That's fine. So again, this is a humble radio show where sometimes I get fact check in real time, and I do care because I want to be right, but not everybody can be right. Speaking of not everybody can be right, there are some people that definitely cannot be right all the time. And that's certain Democrats who, in the past always told us that we had to go out, for example, and get the 4-year college degree. You had to do it. And it was funny at the time. It was one president, Barack Obama, who I believe was talking about it a lot, like all the time. And then funny enough, the government got involved with student loan programs. And next thing you know, it was almost like a business deal going on here. And the former president saying, yeah, those 4-year degrees, you got to do it. If you want to be anything in life, you have to do it that way. And people were like, I don't know if that's true all the time. As a matter of fact, I know it's not true all the time. And it just feels like he just kept saying stuff like,
get your hands out of my fries.
I don't know what that means. I do not know what that means. Sorry. So now we have a couple of things that are going on that are fantastic. And it doesn't have to do with college degrees. Now, listen, if you are somebody who wants to go to college and get a 4-year degree, yet in the process, you're going to be indoctrinated by all the lefties that are out there, may I suggest, don't do that. Make sure you go to the college of your choice. You take the lessons you have to take. You do the work that you have to do, but make sure you separate yourself from what is the culture on the campus and don't get into all the lefty stuff. That's what I would say. And so the president just the other day was talking about a great thing that we are going to be doing. It was a Trump event on American mining and the industry and what has been happening with it. Now, the mining industry is a big deal because if we do like the electronics that we have, if we do like the AI that we use, if we do like the things that are needed to run said systems like chips and the materials that go into making chips, then it's important that we have people that not only are going to bring the businesses here and onshore them, but we're going to need people that also are going to be out there and mining the raw materials that we need, the rare earth materials. And so the president said,
years mining schools and colleges that are essential to training the future leaders of this industry have been absolutely and sadly disappearing. Accredited mining programs in the United States now graduate less than 170 mining engineers each year, while China graduates more than 3,000, and half of our current mining workforce is set to retire within the next 3 years. Well,
excuse me? So in the next 3 years, we're going to lose half the mining community? They're going to age out? And we need to start getting something in the pipeline here. And that's why the president was announcing a $100 million grant of deliverance to schools, $10 million a year in funding. Well, how about this? How about $100 million? And we can get these mining schools in the nation up and running so that we can have people with the skills to do that. I think that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, that's the sound that says it's a big deal. And even Mike Rowe, who was on with Bill Maher on Friday night, was talking about the importance, obviously, of getting out there and working, and the differences between going out and specifically looking for that college degree, 4 years of college, as opposed to getting right to work now and the kind of money that you can make.
My foundation has electricians that we trained 6 years ago that are making $230,000 a year. $230,000 a year right now.
I like, I was going to say, sign me up, but I wasn't there 6 years. Well, I'm here, too. I have this job. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
No college debt. They're setting their own schedules, more overtime than they can fill.
Nah, let's go with the debt. Yeah, let's go with a 4-year degree in intermediate basket weaving or whatever it is, or gender studies or something like that. And let's go for that and put me in incredible amounts of debt, and then have me look for a job that I can't get because nobody's really hiring the basket weaving one, especially. Now, we'll stick with that. No.
And those stories, man, that's the compliment I meant to pay you and everybody else.
So there's a lot of people that see this, have been helping, and I guess Mike Rowe with Bill Maher was saying, look, and you're helping to get this word out as well. No college debt, $230,000 a year. We said this. I know people get worried about the AI boom and what's going to be happening in the future and the jobs that are going to be taken away. And we're already in this AI boom. We're in it right now. Like, if people are sitting back and saying, hey, I wonder when the boom's going to happen. We're in it. So are we losing jobs right now? And look, and I'm just, you got to quantify it. You can't say jobs are being lost, because that's what the left does. They'll constantly say people are dying because of USAID money that's not there anymore. And it's like, wait a second. Can you prove that? Oh, yeah, hundreds of thousands, millions of people died across the globe. How do you do that? How could you prove that? Because they don't have them. Really? So you're just going to throw out numbers out there? Why don't you throw out 8 gajillion? Because that sounds really big. And I don't even know if there's a gajillion. But why not? So you can't just throw the numbers out. You got to prove it. And ultimately, you see what's going on with the opportunities that are out there in AI and whether or not there are jobs that are being lost, but think about the ones that can be gained. I mean, if you're going to build an AI data center, and I know there's a lot of people around the country that are like, beep, like you're shutting off the radio right now. Don't do that. Don't shut it down. Just listen. Whether it's AI data centers on this planet or AI data centers in space, which is what Elon Musk is talking about right now, right?
Things are getting weird, and they're getting weird fast.
Well, we haven't gotten to that yet. But anyway, if that's going to happen, well, we need electricians. We need people that are going to be able to build the systems, miners that are going to be able to get the rare earth minerals that we control to build the chips here in the United States, to put together the systems that are going to have to be welded, and electricians and HVAC and so much more that are going to be making astronomical amounts. See what I did there? Get it? Astronomical space. So he said one other thing too. Because you've got to have people that want to do the jobs. You've got to have young people that want to get into these professions. And I want you to sit back for a second and listen to this from Mike Rowe, who was on Bill Maher's program on Friday night. Listen.
The question doesn't start with what are they doing? It starts with what aren't they doing?
Right. He's talking about young people. Gen Zs, kids, what are they doing right now?
They're not volunteering at their local church. They're not in the Kiwanis Club. They're not checking out the Rotarians or the Lions Club. They're not in the Boy Scouts or Skills USA. They're not contributing anything in their community. What are they doing? On average, they're spending between 2,000 and 2,100 hours a year on their screen.
Hear the crowd? Even the lefty crowd is like, oh, that hurts, because I got a kid.
It is just, we just haven't seen the like of it before. How are they able to survive? I can't paint with too broad a brush. Maybe some of them are trust fund kids. Maybe some of them have enough.
Yeah, maybe they're trust fund kids. You know, Bill Maher got into, hey, maybe they're just living off their mom and dad's money or their grandparents' money, and that's how they're making it right now. And it's like, I need money for the car, and the parents like, here's the money for the car. Go out, do your thing. But the average Gen Z adult spends about 9 hours a day and 3,200 hours a year on a screen. That's the number. The number he brought up was 2,100, but it's worse than that. So again, we got to get them off the screen. Oh, and by the way, if we don't get people that have the technical ability to build said screen, you're not going to be on. Hey, how about that, kids? You like your screen? Well, if we don't get you off the couch and working to build that screen, you're not going to have the screen. How do you like? Hey, you like apples? How about them apples? All right.
RightLine with Drew Steele.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Did you know VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served?
The first moment I walked into my home, I could hear my footsteps echo off the back wall. The first thing I thought in my head was, man, furniture is going to be real expensive. The VA not requiring any down payment prior to buying the home allowed me to take that money I had budgeted to go out and buy furniture, food, cleaning supplies, pretty much everything I needed. Purchasing a home is scary, but ultimately it's not impossible, and they make it so that anybody can do it.
To learn more, visit va.gov/home loans.
For 25 years, the Library of Congress Veterans History Project has collected and preserved the experiences of America's heroes. From original letters to oral histories, these first-hand accounts bring history to life, one voice at a time. With over 120,000 stories collected, each reveals the courage, sacrifice, and service of our veterans, but many remain untold. Help our nation reach 125,000. Share a story. Ensure a legacy. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
We weren't sure adoption would happen for us, but when it did, it happened threefold.
Mary and her husband first met their 3 children when they became their foster parents. Little did they know that their house would become the siblings' forever home.
We had to help them adjust to the idea that they wouldn't have to leave. Children in foster care have lived and survived so much. We had to help them process their trauma. And now to hear our children say that they know they have a mother and father who take care of us, teach us, and love us means everything.
The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is committed to finding safe, permanent homes for the longest waiting children in foster care.
I not only love these kids, I am just so proud of them.
You can help. Visit davethomasfoundation.org.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Listen, I've lived in Southwest Florida long enough to know that when I needed countertops, you go to the best. Who's the best? Rock Solid on JNC Boulevard in Naples. First of all, Rock Solid's consultants, I wasn't really sure what I wanted, but I knew that they were knowledgeable, gave me all the information I needed to make the best decision. I love that fabrication is done on premises. It's not like they're subbing out the job to some third party, right? If you're looking for countertops, backsplash, you know where to go. Rock Solid, JNC Boulevard, Naples.
Now, back to RightLine with Drew Steele.
Oh my God, I got it! I got it! I caught the shoe!
I caught the shoe?
I got hit in the face and caught a shoe! Whose shoe do I have?
Hey, that's actually a happy sound. It sounded really awful and horrible and terrible, but it was actually a really happy sound there. If you're wondering what that is, if you're driving around your car across the country right now, listening to RightLine or watching at RightLine News on YouTube and X, let me just fill you in. I guess there's something called the Goliath roller coaster. It's in Georgia at Six Flags. And a man is on the Goliath coaster, and all of a sudden the shoe starts coming at him, and he got hit in the face with the shoe, but he caught it, and then he got it back to the person who lost the shoe. And it was all caught on camera, slow motion. There it is, flying towards his face, and then boom, gets hit in the face, but has the shoe. And his reaction was, "Isn't it funny? I caught the shoe." Well, I guess that's one way of putting it. And apparently his teeth must all be in place. But everybody's fine. Person got their shoe back, but it's valuable lesson for the kids. Kids, can you tie your shoes? Can you just tie them? I know some of you like to walk around with the laces hanging around or all loose and stuff like that. Or sometimes you do what my son does, and you put your foot in the shoe, and the back of the heel of gets crushed down, so it becomes like a flip flop for you. And that's not how it works. Put the shoe on and tie it up nice. Sorry, is that getting a little personal and stuff like that? Anyway, let's move on. All right. Anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303. Let's get to this quickly. Why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? I just don't understand. Actually, I guess we understand why you have judges, not justices, but judges around the country who run it. And here was some news that took place this past week about the ballroom.
Federal appeals court in Washington says that Donald Trump is unlawfully constructing the White House ballroom.
Are we still doing this with the ballroom? Is the ballroom thing still going on? The answer is yes, everybody. You have a judge who was put there by, I'm sure, someone who was a conservative. Nope, wasn't. And you've got a judge ruling now that the ballroom construction has to stop, upholding the U.S. District Judge Richard Leon's ruling in a 2-1 decision, blocking the construction. The president's like, I'm done with this. So he goes to the Supreme Court, and he's appealing this to SCOTUS. And are you going to strike down this leftist judge that's blocking the ballroom construction? Are we still talking about this? And even how judges have been. You know, Stephen Miller was talking about this just the other day as well. The fact that you have these judges who just continue to run this country like they think they run the country.
That you can have a private citizen in a fake group who says that they walk their dog near the White House, and they have standing to sue the President of the United States over a national security facility in the White House complex is such an insult to the legal profession, to our judicial system, and for the judiciary to go along with this is a blight. It is a blight on Article 3.
Think about that. So there was somebody who was walking down the street and walking the dog and was like, I don't like the way this looks. And a judge is like, hey, we can do something with this. We can stop the construction if you just come on. Like, is that what happened? I mean, this is crazy with activist judges. Again, blocking the ballroom.
There's a crisis in the courts, and the Supreme Court better get wise to it.
That's the thing. The thing is, all right, you know, you're going to have lefties that are going to left. You're going to have people who have TDS that are going to continue to have TDS. And
if you're crazy and you know it sounds like this.
Donald Trump and his extremist allies.
But you can't let them get away with it. You just can't. You can't keep doing this. And good for Stephen Miller, good for the president. Look, we'll just go up to the Supreme Court. We're going to make the case. We've got a case to make. Like, all of this has to stop. Yeah. All right. Anytime you want to watch at RightLine News on YouTube and X. We take a break. We come back in just a bit. A lot more to cover. Any breaking news, we will have it this weekend. This is RightLine.
RightLine with Drew Steele.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. So check before you jet. Avoid delays at TSA security checkpoints by making sure you have an acceptable form of ID. That means a real ID, passport, or other acceptable forms of identification.
Visit tsa.gov/ID to check the full list of acceptable IDs. Avoid travel delays by checking ID requirements, and you're good to go.
RightLine with Drew Steele. Your national voice across the country. This is RightLine with Drew Steele.
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to say what's up. It's Drew Steele, and thanks for hanging out with us. If you're watching at RightLine News on YouTube and X, we are in radio commercial break right now. Family's right here. Oh, there you go. I was wondering what was going on there with the sound. And so we're in commercial break right now, and so we appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll be back in just a couple of more minutes. A lot to talk about, some of what the DSA is doing and the latest there. Also, we've got some fantastic, funny Hillary Clinton news. It's not really fantastic. I mean, if it was like she was being perp walked or something like that, that would be fantastic news, but it's not that fantastic. So anyway, we've got a lot going on, and thanks for hanging out throughout the breaks. Like I said, we're doing a radio commercial break right now, and we'll be back in just a couple more minutes.
After service look like? Kicking back? Taking it easy? We believe it looks a little different. Fighting for all veterans. Making sure they get the benefits and care they've earned. Rebuilding communities after disaster strikes. And adapting to support today's veterans. Meeting them where they are. The VFW. Still leading. Still advancing. Still serving. Get involved at stillserving.org.
I can trace family members who served from World War I to today, each one helping shape who I am. My family chose to share their stories with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project. Voices, letters, and memories that bring their service to life. Searching for their stories was easy. You can discover powerful stories too, told through the voices of America's veterans. Explore, remember, and share at loc.gov/vets.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's rock-solid countertops and more. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock solid countertops and more.
The other day, a man called saying my electric was way past due. He threatened to turn off my power if I didn't buy a gift card to pay the bill. I said, look, fella, I wasn't born yesterday. Gift cards are for gifts, not for paying bills, and I'm sure as heck not buying you a gift. So I hung up on the crook, and my lights never went out. Know the signs of scams and leave scammers in the dust. If someone asks for a gift card as payment, it's likely a scam. A public service message from the Better Business Bureau.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or are covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
This is RightLine with Drew Steele.
Well, hey everybody, glad you're joining us today on RightLine. My name is Drew Steele. Big D over there on the other side of the glass with the newsroom. Nina's in the breaking newsroom over there, and you hanging out with us at RightLine News on YouTube and X. And anytime you want to check out the program after hours, RightLine with Drew Steele, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, just in case you miss anything. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about the latest from the Democrat Socialists of America. And even Bill Maher is like, this is ridiculous. Like, are we really doing this with the candidates? Are we really going to lean into some of these candidates and some of the things that they're saying? It's funny how the Democrats, the progressive Democrats, so you went from the old school Democrats that you felt like, oh, shucks, Bill Clinton won an election, but we'll get him the next time, to, wait a second, the Democrats are watching the party implode, and those Bill Clinton Democrats are all like, hey, whoa, we don't want to do this. So it's fun to watch them implode. So let's watch them implode coming up in just a bit. And also, look, we're going to get into more of what is going on with the WNBA. And speaking of an implosion, what have they done? You really wanted to go down this road. Sophie Cunningham says something that makes a lot of sense. Common sense. She's worried about girls in sports. She doesn't want men in women's sports. She isn't against the trans community. She loves everybody. She says all of this, but you see, there's only one way. It's a zero-sum game. Either you agree with everything that we tell you, or we have to despise you and hate you, or you hate us. That's not how it works. And then even today, she's been playing, and there are like flagrant fouls against her, and there's all kinds of fighting going on in the match, in the game. The match. What am I talking about? It sounds like I'm talking about soccer. What am I talking about? Thanks. We're not doing that anymore. We've already done the soccer thing. So the latest shenanigans there with the WNBA, and then some of the former NBA stars that have something to say about it. All of that coming up in just a bit. For first, late night last night, the talk about the Attorney General Todd Blanche and getting a confirmation. We got it, so that was good last night. We didn't get the Save America Act overnight Friday into Saturday morning, which was a big, big, big disappointment. We thought for sure we could get that done, but we couldn't. So an all-nighter managed to pass 2 bills, and the Save America Act was not part of it. We're going to get to that in a bit. But going back to the Attorney General and the importance of locking this down, the good news is that with the Attorney General, we did get the votes needed, -1. We didn't get Senator Lisa Murkowski, Rhino from Alaska. What are you doing? Alaska, what's going on with you? I think we're on. Hey, are we on in Alaska? I think we are. Yeah, can we not do this? And even the President of the United States, who was on his Truth Social talking about this, exposing Lisa Murkowski, senator, for opposing Attorney General now, Todd Blanche, in the nomination, despite the confirmation of Merrick Garland, who was basically weaponizing the DOJ at the time. You remember.
There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
Yeah, so that was the President of the United States, who on his Truth Social account wanted to let everybody know. Yeah, she voted to confirm Merrick Garland, the one who went after the president and signed off personally on raiding Trump's home. Also calling you a domestic terrorist because you had a problem with boys and girls bathrooms in schools and all of these things that were going on. And you were like, hey, I don't like these things that are going on. Oh, you can't do that, you domestic terrorist, you. We're calling you a DT. That's weird. Anyway, so we still got the confirmation of Todd Blanche, who is now the Attorney General. And even the president speaking about Lisa Murkowski just the other day. Punchbowl News had an interview with him. I don't know this Punchbowl News guy. Not really a fan of his because I don't like the attitude. I don't like the way he talks to the president. But anyway, he was bringing up Lisa Murkowski.
Reacting and, we'll try it again.
I wonder if you feel any, because a lot of these people who are against him, who have given you trouble on him, are people you endorsed against, right? I mean, you have Cornyn, Cassidy, Murkowski, you kind of
essentially
slag. Yes. Right. So
Murkowski, I was against.
Yeah.
I'm against Murkowski. I think I do more for Alaska than any president in history. No president's done for Alaska what I've done. She's not good.
She's not good. I like that the president self-edits himself there. Not good. He's probably thinking something else like you were thinking. But anyway, so we got that. He had officially the votes because Bill Cassidy indicated he was going to vote yes. He did vote yes. There you go. Boom. So we've got an Attorney General now that, yeah, okay. So that was some good news from last night. Friday night, Saturday morning. There you go. What else do we have going on? The Vice President of the United States, who Saturday morning was on Fox News talking about a lot of different things. The priority of the president to get the Save America Act passed, which, of course, the Senate is now in recess. And they're like, see ya. And we're not doing it. And they didn't. I'm upset about this. You're upset about this. The vice president is like, listen, we've got to get this done.
The president's priority right now is to get the Save America Act passed. I think it's absurd that we're the most advanced democracy in the entire world, and yet we don't have voter ID. That really has to change. The president.
Yeah. Something that we all want. We've got to get it done. The vice president talked about, although the Senate going on recess and not getting it done. So that is not good to hear. And, a couple of other things that he mentioned on Saturday morning as well had to do with the investigation into fraud. Now, it's a funny thing how fraud works in the United States right now, as it is. You have fraud that's being committed, Medicaid fraud, Medicare fraud. You have all kinds of different fraud that's happening. And the funny thing is, you have a lot of it happening in blue states. That would be Democrat states. And you have a lot of Democrats who are like, you know what? If you're going to fight the fraud that's going on in my state, I'm not showing up. Why do you do that? Because this is if you're a Democrat, can you do me a favor right now? If you're watching me at RightLine News on YouTube and X, if you want to come close to your screen, your phone, your iPad, your TV, whatever it is, here, come close. And if you're driving 10 and 2, just don't come close. Just stay right where you are. Here, come close. I got to tell you something. The tax dollars that are being stolen, they're yours too, dummy. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's not kind. That's not nice. We don't call people dummy. We call your ideas dummy. Hey, you got bad ideas. I was going to say dummy, but I'm not going to do it. Anyway, the point is that why are you not showing up to even try to stop the fraud? The vice president of the United States is like, what's going on here?
I will say, Kaylee, in the defense of some blue states, some Democrats have been willing to work with us because they recognize that fighting fraud should be a bipartisan issue.
Yeah, there's some. Okay, so there's a couple of people that have common sense.
Unfortunately, you've got the Californias and the New Yorks of the world who seem to want their states to be defrauded by the fraudsters, but we can't let that happen. It's gone on for too long, and the president has asked us to stop it. We're finally taking it seriously.
Yeah, taking it seriously. So there's a couple of people that are out there that are like, yeah, we would like to fight the fraud with you. And then you have the Democrats and the New Yorkers and the Californians who are like, we're good. It's almost as if they like the fraud that's happening because, helps them. How does it help you? Explain that to us. By the way, can we pivot for just a second? Sure. Says RightLine with Drew Steele. I guess that means we can because it's my show. I know that was weird too. Speaking of New York, do we have this clip? Oh, man. I got to find this clip. If we don't have this clip after I made this big pivot, I'm going to be so upset. Now I have to find it. Oh, then you're going to make me pivot to something else? Yeah, I'm going to have to pivot to something else. Oh, man. All right, never mind. So we have, here it is. I've got it. 1 second, stand by. All right, there it is. In New York City, there's something that's going on that Zoran Mandani, the communist mayor of the city there, go ahead. His name is Zoran. He is a commie. Yeah, we know. There's something that he's going to do that he believes every New Yorker would love. As a matter of fact, he probably thinks that everybody across the country would love this. He's offering free childcare so that parents can have a date night. Now, I want you to wait because you think, free childcare so I have a date night. How does that work exactly? Oh, wait till you hear the exactly.
Zoran Mandani is starting a new pilot program here in New York City. He is saying, bring your children to the park and we will watch them for free.
What? So let me get this straight. So you want me to bring my child to the park while I leave them in a park with city officials? No problem here. And I'm going to go on a date night.
In the 5 boroughs, they said around 500 children can come to these different locations and the parents can go and have a date night. He's even saying, we will feed your children while they're at the park.
No, D. No, you're not serious right now.
Here in New York City, hiring a babysitter can cost anywhere from $30 to $50 an hour.
Yeah, it's like that all over the country.
So he wants parents to have the opportunity to go and spend 4 hours without their children.
Yeah, but by dropping my child off at one of the city parks and having city employees take care of my child. Oh, and we're going to feed them too. Yeah, there are some ideas that you're like, I don't know. And then there's some that are like, no, I'm not doing that. So that was a little bit of crazy, wild things that are happening in some blue states, New York City to be exact. I thought that was pretty funny. And it ain't happening on my watch. Well, I don't live there, so that's fine. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you love the idea. If you want to call 866-588-8303, the phone lines are open if you'd like to tell us. Speaking of Democrats, blue places, blue cities, blue states, we have some people who've got the blues. Oh, you see what I did? Come on. They got the blue. Yeah, get it? There's some Democrats who have the blues right now because they want you to know that Democrat socialism is cool. It's the way the party is going. And if you're not with us, then you're against us. I don't know how many of you know David Hogg. David Hogg is right now the president of Leaders We Deserve. And I think that he's somebody who has been speaking for the party a lot lately, the Democrat Party. And just a reminder of what was said the other day by David Hogg, who's one of these lefties who, it's almost like there's a grift going on. You know, it feels like wherever the wind is blowing, that's where he ends up. And now he ends up in the DSA aisle at the supermarket. It's funny. If you go to the DSA aisle at the supermarket, there's nothing on the shelves. It's empty because of communism. See? Come on. Here he is talking to Caitlin Collins, who's a pretty woman, but never smiles. Talking about the DSA and where the party is and some of the wins that have happened in some Democrat primaries.
There's been an argument that they need to moderate or concern over what that's going to look like should they succeed, or that they may not succeed, that they might be defeated by Republicans despite them not doing well in the polling either. What would you say to the moderates in your party who feel that way?
Sorry. So I just want you to get this. She's asking David Hogg about all the Democrat socialists that seem to be winning and, what we do now. And she ends it off with the moderates in the party. Now, we all know that there are no such things as Democrats that are moderates. Doesn't exist, hasn't existed. They're progressives. The thing now is it's so far left that the progressives are the moderates. Figure that one out. Here's what David Hogg says. Go ahead, David.
I would say to the moderates, our party, you need to figure out how to actually offer something new to voters that isn't just the same message that you gave them in 2024.
You got to figure out something if you're a moderate different than you did in 2024. By the way, his camera connection stunk. So if you hear like the audio's breaking up, it's not me, it's him.
Increasingly, the reason why the establishment of our party is being defeated over and over and over again is
what is it?
It's because they don't have the right values that are aligned with not just the Democratic base, but the American people, where people are sick and tired of listening to Democrats who tell them all the reasons why they can't solve their problems.
Wait a minute. So David Hogg is now suggesting, as he grifts off to the far left, because otherwise they're going to kick his can down the road, so to speak. You're suggesting that the problem with Democrats right now is that their message before is losing, and they've got to get with the mainstream of America, which is the Democrat socialists? Like, is that really where you're going with this?
If you can't solve our problems, you shouldn't be running for office. We need people who actually sound, at a minimum, and genuinely believe what they are saying.
Yeah, we know what they're genuinely saying, and they're saying that they want communism, Marxism, socialism, and even the people in Michigan are getting really worried about that, especially when you have some politicians who are in Michigan, for example, that don't even like being there. They hate some of the most American places in Michigan, like Mackinac Island, where you had Abdul El-Sayed, the Democrat, socialist, Marxist, who's going to be running for Senate on the Democrat side there in Michigan, who gets caught on a hot mic, who's walking there.
Watch yourself.
Here they go. They're going to Mackinac Island. And here he is, walking around here. He's like, really? Beautiful place. And what does he say? What's his deal?
I hate Mackinac so much. It's funny because, if we win, this is going to be the, summer home. I'm just going to be every time I've ever come here, I've hated it.
Great. Well, that's a way to win over voters, right? It's like one of the most beloved places in Michigan, Mackinac Island, and I hate it so much. Can't stand this place. I hate it. That'll do it. That'll get them. And the thing is that for the media and for so many people, there'll be no pushback. Nobody will say a peep about that. How could you do this? I'm saying it. You might tell your friends now that you heard this if you haven't heard it already. But that is that's not a winning strategy right there for the Democrat Socialists. But that's where we are. Then again, there are a lot of things that are going on that's not a winning strategy. Like if you're telling me that David Hogg thinks that the winning strategy and what people really want out of the Democrat Party is they want men playing in women's sports. Like, that is the hill to die on. Like, you are revisiting this like it was a winning proposition in 2024. And everybody knows that it wasn't even close to being that.
Not a joke.
Thanks, Joe. But you keep revisiting it as a mainstream idea? No. You're in the wrong place. And they're still doing it. And now you've got the WNBA, who's clearly not very happy with Sophie Cunningham for suggesting that we protect girls and we don't have men playing in women's sports. Like, don't hate anybody, but I think it's common sense. No, you can't say that, because when you're in certain places like sports or Hollywood or music, you got to toe the line. And if you don't, there's going to be lots of trouble. Sure about that? So she says that. Obviously, there's this political firestorm about it. Everybody's talking about it. You've got players that are like trying to kind of walk this fine line. You have one player in particular that's like, I don't care about that. If we've got a trans athlete playing, I'm all right with it. Well, that's where Enos Freedom came along. Enos Kanter Freedom, who was an 11-year pro ball veteran with the NBA, and he said,
after careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA.
All you have to do is identify who you are. You just have to clarify and tell everybody who you are. And if he's feeling like a woman today, then, then he's playing.
My team and I have carefully examined the WNBA's eligibility criteria and governing framework surrounding self-identification and inclusion.
Self-identification and inclusion. And he self-identifies and he wants to be included.
Based on the current guidelines, I can and am officially declaring my eligibility for the upcoming WNBA draft in May 2027.
There you go. So he's going to be in the... Yeah, go ahead. What? All right, yeah. All right. He's declaring for 2027 Enos Kanter Freedom, along with some others that have come out and said they're going to do the same thing. And if the WNBA, with its laws that are in place right now, the bylaws that he read with his team, and they said, hey, listen, there's no reason why we can't do this. If they do not allow him to play, then America First Policy Institute's going to legally represent him in court to fight for fairness and representation. You like apples? How about them apples? So obviously there are people that are very, very upset about this. You can't do this. You're making a mockery of the process. We see how this is. You've got Enos Kanter, who wants to pursue his dream of playing in the WNBA. And for some reason, you're going to say all these nasty things about him. But it's a funny thing on the way to this. And you start hearing some of the lefties in the past. You know, you have the great Maze Moore on X, who was mentioning about the bigoted people who are attacking Enos Kanter for pursuing their dream of playing in the WNBA. How about the enlightened words of Gavin Newsom's wife, who was speaking truth to power when she was saying,
we're all on a spectrum, right? It's just how society kind of pushes us and pressures us into these limiting gender roles.
We're all human beings. Gender's a spectrum anyway. It's a social construct. We're recognizing what it is to ultimately deconstruct all these gender roles and ultimately be human.
I'm talking about the social construct of gender and how your gender, unfortunately, matters.
It's a social construct. Okay, so here's the thing. The WNBA is in some trouble. Now, I'm not talking about the attendance or the games themselves. And it's like, did you miss that shot? You were right under the hoop and nobody was near you. Like that kind of thing. I'm not suggesting that. And it's not always like that. And if you like the WNBA, okay. But they're going to have to define what a woman is. Because if they don't, then you've opened up quite the can of worms. Then it's been open. People are going to challenge it. We'll see. That's going to be fun to watch. All right. Top 5 audio clips of the week coming up next here on RightLine.
RightLine with Drew Steele.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. You've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
Homes for Our Troops build specially adapted homes with features that allow our veterans to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free, thanks to our donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection. And hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world. From bow and arrow to hook and bullet, as man evolved, our link to those traditions remains. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt, to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. Misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it are leading a war against our heritage. In their misguided policies and protests, they demonize hunters and belittle our way of life. The result? Hunters leaving the sport in droves while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wildlands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system. A system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much stuff because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part, knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to RightLine with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch that RightLine News on YouTube and X, and anytime you want to check out the program after hours, RightLine with Drew Steele, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Time for the top 5 audio clips of the week. By the way, just a reminder, if you like the program and you want to check out the program during the week, we do a weekday program called Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. We are here in Florida, and we've got a syndicated show across the state of Florida, but you can watch wherever you are across the country at FL, like Florida, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. So if you want to check out the show during the week, we do, by the way, during the week, the top 5 audio clips of the day. But on the weekends, it's the top 5 audio clips of the week. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
This is a very pedantic question, but what is the difference between the power that Congress has legally, or in this case, a congressional committee, and a court of law?
Right. So right now, Dr. Fauci is in, I would say, contempt of Congress, sorta. He's more like in contempt of one committee of Congress. So first of all, ordinarily, the way this goes, and we've seen various contempt motions over the past several years. First, the committee votes. If it gets through the committee, then it goes to the full House or the full Senate. Apparently, Senator Rand Paul believes that he doesn't need to bring it. He doesn't want to bring it to the full Senate. Why that may be, I'll leave to Manu and our congressional experts. But Dr. Fauci has not been indicted right now. He's not under any criminal charge for contempt. But what happens now is going to be the really important decision. It goes over to the Justice Department, specifically by law, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, who's made a lot of news recently over the Reflecting Pool case. She, presumably along with the Attorney General, will make a decision. Do we bring a criminal contempt prosecution against Dr. Fauci?
How about that? So we forgot. So quickly we forget. This past week, you had the Senate committee voting to hold Dr. Fauci in contempt of Congress. And I love the way CNN puts it, GOP-led Senate committee. Okay. And you have Eli Honig, who's, I guess, a former U.S. attorney who was on there saying, I got to tell you, he's in some trouble. And here's how the trouble works. Obviously, he hasn't been indicted yet. but it goes to the U.S. Attorney in D.C., Jeanine Pirro, who's going to decide along with the DOJ whether there would be contempt charges, which they can do, which hopefully will be done. And so maybe we will hear a little bit more from the Fauci coming up soon, but maybe not from him personally, but about him, which would be extra special if it's about the, cuff and perf walking kind of talk. That would be fun.
Number 4.
And we must reform ICE. But it looks at this stage, folks, ICE is beyond reform. ICE is totally out of control. And this week, I intend to introduce a bill to abolish ICE.
Hey, why am I playing an old clip of Sri Thanadar, Representative Democrat, there, who is talking like they all do, blah, 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 blah. ICE is terrible, blah, blah, blah. We got it. All right. Why am I playing the Representative Sri Thanadar on this program as a clip from last week? Oh, because he lost his congressional race in Michigan's 13th district to a Democrat Socialist of America candidate. Go figure. So that's it. He's out of Congress for the time being. By the way, always fun to hear from Sri. He's got great hair. And also the fact that he was talking about, hey, I'm just this Democrat. No, literally, I'm not joking. He went on to social media to talk about how he's sad. He's got the sads that he lost because he's as Democrat socialist as anybody else is. Yeah. Okay. Well, you probably should have made that case in Congress and made the case to the people of Michigan. It doesn't seem like it worked out that way very well.
Number 3.
All the Spanish people think that this was kind of coordinated.
As we get away from the border, people are still in floaties coming across. You have all these people sleeping here in the back of this shop right here, and now you have lines of people waiting to get food. What did you think when you saw all these people coming across? Would you say this was an invasion?
Yes, an invasion is armed with weapons. I think this is an occupation.
An occupation. So this week, many of us remember, or maybe we've forgotten already, about Nick Shirley, who decided to visit himself, Ceuta, there in Spain, and confirmed that, yeah, there are many people who looked at that as an invasion of Spain, what took place where you had 60,000 plus people there who showed up. And by the way, the Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, who was trying to make it seem like, by the way, he's a big socialist, making it seem like, oh, they're all gone now. They all went home. It was just like a teen takeover and everybody left. But that's not what was going on. As a matter of fact, when Nick Shirley went to go visit, he realized that, yeah, they're still here. They haven't left. They haven't gone anywhere. Leave it to Nick Shirley. Leave it to the citizen journalists to get it done and get the story straight. There. And yeah, one of those stories that popped up this week.
Number 2.
We say what they didn't do was almost just as important. They did not pass the Save America Act. That's something that a lot of conservatives said we have to get passed before the August recess. In fact, they are going on recess here. They're going to have these brief pro forma sessions over the next 5 weeks. In fact, the next legislative session in the Senate is going to be September 15th. They didn't have the votes to pass a budget resolution that would allow them to deal with some election integrity issues. And they also didn't pass a college sports bill. There was some thought that they might be able to do some sort of a test vote on that. President Trump put out a tweet on Truth Social last night saying that, he was very concerned about trying to get this done, wanted them to stay in session.
And they didn't. So that was the report from Fox about the Senate having a late night in Washington, D.C., Friday night into Saturday morning. And what did they get done? A couple of things. They had Todd Blanche and a confirmation, among other things. But what they didn't get done, as they make their way to August recess, they did not pass the Save America Act. They didn't pass parts of the Save America Act. And in fact, the next legislative session in the Senate is going to be September 15th. If you do the math, that means it's not going to be enough time to get it done before the midterms and to be able to go in effect before the midterms. And
Number 1.
My Favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Because I
There
love
you have it.
Thanksgiving. Yep. I don't want to cancel it. I actually love it. We bring, actually, it's kind of in-laws and family members and their in-laws, and it's a big event. And, I'm going to be real. I'm kind of a curmudgeon when it comes to holidays in general. But right now, what we want to get serious about is making sure that we deliver a Democratic trifecta for.
Yeah, I just got to stop. So that is Francesca Hong. She is currently the leader now for the Democrat nominee for governor of the state of Wisconsin, who on her X account way back when brought up the fact that she doesn't like holidays. She wants to cancel Thanksgiving. She put it out there. We talked about it. Many of you talked about it. And then there she goes on to Politico to address the canceling Thanksgiving and going, I love Thanksgiving. Just kidding. And the reporter's like, well, there you have it. Yeah, there you have it. No, there you don't have it.
Drew's Top 5.
Look, you go to friendly places like that because you know that's going to be the answer. But not even Bill Maher on his program Friday night was having any part of this. She hates holidays. I don't believe you.
She hates all holidays. She talked about feeling attacked on Christmas when someone put on her computer a Christmas scene. Doesn't like fireworks, 4th of July. Halloween, all the far lefties hate Halloween. Costumes that are inappropriate, oh please. This woman doesn't like Valentine's Day, another way of capitalism taking over our love life. She said, Valentine's Day, the holiday that brings out the worst of humanity. That's the holiday that brings out the worst of humanity? Have you ever been to a Black Friday sale?
He's got a point. He's got a point, everybody. So, when you've lost Bill Maher, well, you really haven't lost much. I mean, he's just a lefty that every once in a while says something that you like. But you've got to be kidding me. So, you've got that. But also, you've got this little nugget. Hold on. Oh, I cannot leave you today without playing this beauty. It's a weird way to say this about Hillary Clinton, this beauty, because there's no real.
I don't feel no ways tired.
There's no real beauty there. But anyway, it's a beauty of a clip. So Hillary Clinton, who I guess is not very self-aware these days, or any other day for that matter, because she's a leftist, she's out there talking to people on any podcast that'll take her, which is a funny thing because the DSA doesn't like you. They don't like you. They don't like Kamala Harris. They don't like Hakeem Jeffries. They don't like Chuck Schumer. They don't like any of the usuals. Maybe some others.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, okay.
Buttigieg.
Probably don't like Buttigieg very much. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows about that one? But anyway, here's Hillary Clinton going onto a podcast without any kind of self-awareness. In other words, that's Democrat speak for, I'm going to lie out of my teeth right now. Here she is on this Pivot podcast with another lefty, and they're talking about the Democrat Party and when they get power, what they need to do to Trump, the administration, what needs to happen when he's gone. Check this out.
Clean up, fix things.
Yeah, there's going to be
so much to fix. I mean, first, get rid of all of the holdovers. Do not let anybody hang around in some small office somewhere who can literally subvert your program. And
I'm sorry. Did you just say that you want to make sure that you get rid of all the Trump holdovers so they don't sit in an office some ways to subvert what you're trying to do as the next president of the United States, who's a Democrat? Did you really say that? Are you not self-aware? Of course you are. But Democrats always tell you what they're doing by blaming you for what you don't do, but they do. Is that a good doo-doo? Does that make any sense to doo-doo?
This is what you do.
Yeah, Bernie says it's a good doo-doo. So you getting that? Just a little more.
I don't even know that person's there. And I will predict that, Trump and his minions are going to try to,
put people.
They're going to try to move people from political appointments to so-called civil service appointments. Although,
like you guys do.
They're trying to
So they're
destroy the
stuck
civil
there.
service.
Like what you're
so
doing.
people are going to have to be really searching.
Okay. I can't even believe she said that, but she did. And man, it's hysterical. So a Democrat president is going to have to get rid of all of the Trump people because they don't want them to hang around in D.C. and subvert the Democrat administration, kind of like all the deep staters and all the Obama leftovers and Biden leftovers keep hanging around D.C. and are in different places and different offices to try to subvert the president of the United States and his administration. You can't be serious. She is. And she thinks that you don't, well, the Democrats, you know this. I'm telling you, you already get that. When she talks to Democrats, they're like, yeah, we got to do that. Yeah, because she knows what she's talking about, because that's what they do. All right, we've got to take a break. When we come back, we put a bow on the show. We finish it up this week, this weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back in a minute. My name is Drew Steele. This is RightLine.
RightLine with Drew Steele.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Did you know VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served?
The first moment I walked into my home, I could hear my footsteps echo off the back wall. The first thing I thought in my head was, man, furniture is going to be real expensive. The VA not requiring any down payment prior to buying the home allowed me to take that money I had budgeted to go out and buy furniture, food, cleaning supplies, pretty much everything I needed. Purchasing a home is scary, but ultimately it's not impossible, and they make it so that anybody can do it.
To learn more, visit va.gov/home loans.
For 25 years, the Library of Congress Veterans History Project has collected and preserved the experiences of America's heroes. From original letters to oral histories, these first-hand accounts bring history to life, one voice at a time. With over 120,000 stories collected, each reveals the courage, sacrifice, and service of our veterans, but many remain untold. Help our nation reach 125,000. Share a story. Ensure a legacy. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
We weren't sure adoption would happen for us, but when it did, it happened threefold.
Mary and her husband first met their 3 children when they became their foster parents. Little did they know that their house would become the siblings' forever home.
We had to help them adjust to the idea that they wouldn't have to leave. Children in foster care have lived and survived so much. We had to help them process their trauma. And now to hear our children say that they know they have a mother and father who take care of us, teach us, and love us means everything.
The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is committed to finding safe, permanent homes for the longest waiting children in foster care.
I not only love these kids, I am just so proud of them.
You can help. Visit davethomasfoundation.org.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little fly, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Listen, I've lived in Southwest Florida long enough to know that when I needed countertops, you go to the best. Who's the best? Rock Solid on J&C Boulevard in Naples. First of all, Rock Solid's consultants, I wasn't really sure what I wanted, but I knew that they were knowledgeable, gave me all the information I needed to make the best decision. I love that fabrication is done on premises. It's not like they're subbing out the job to some third party, right? If you're looking for countertops, backsplash, you know where to go. Rock Solid, J&C Boulevard, Naples.
Now, back to RightLine with Drew Steele.
Have a scoop.
All right, well, if I can't see it, what are they laughing at? All right, I can't see it, so anyway, here's what they're laughing at. There are two women attempting the flower pass challenge. I guess it's the latest thing that everybody's doing on one of the social media platforms, probably TikTok. I guess you scoop flour out of a bowl using an Uno card held in your mouth. You try to pass as much of it to the next person, and the trouble is if you laugh, then you blow flour into the partner's face. Now, some might hear that and see that and say, that's hysterical, that is awesome. Some others might say, you got way too much time on your hands. This is the, can we, is there anything else you can do? I don't know. I guess it's kind of sort of funny, but I don't know. All right, yeah, we're moving on. Speaking of funny, this is the kind of funny that I like. The DSA co-chair is Megan Romer. You know, recently, if you remember, she was on Fox News Sunday last Sunday, and I think we even played the clip, this very clip, as the DSA national co-chair, because Shannon Bream was like, these are the things you believe in, right?
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform, and I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate. True. Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them. Yep. Abolish ICE. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And she went through a whole list of different things, right, that the DSA wants to get rid of, abolishing prisons and defunding the Pentagon, amnesty for illegals, all these things, right? So they admit it. But she still wants to go on to other programs. She gets onto Fox. She answers with a one-word answer. And so she figures, hey, if anybody decides to ask me the tough questions, then I'll be fine because I got the one-word answers down. Follow where I'm going here. So here's the DSA co-chair, Megan Romer, goes on to a podcast talking about, hey, you know, when it comes to millionaires, the millionaires and the billionaires, right, Bernie?
Are you supportive of these onesies?
Not really. So here she is now on a podcast talking about taxing the rich. You know how that goes. It's on a dress. So here's what she says.
But we do believe in taxing the hell out of millionaires. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what does taxing the hell out of them mean?
Yeah, you know, I don't have like a solid, but I think.
But shouldn't you? I mean, if you're the co-chair, of the DSA,
yeah,
shouldn't you be more specific than just taxing the hell out of something?
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean?
Yeah.
So I guess.
Yeah. So I guess. Oh, she's got an answer. So we're going to play the answer. But here's what you need to know. That's all you have to do. We're going to tax the heck out of millionaires. How are you going to do that? Like, exactly what does that look like? Okay. First of all, you got to ask them the tough questions. All right, so if there's no prisons, if somebody breaks the law, what are we doing with them? What are we doing with murderers? Where are we putting them? Explain it, like get into detail. But here's her answer on this.
It's democracy, right? And we have to look at what we need to spend.
What's democracy? We're a constitutional republic. It's not democracy.
And what we need. We don't want to depend on the existence of millionaires because that means people are still getting exploited. So yeah, we need to look at what we need to pay for in the interim, what sort of tax base we need for that to happen, and then and build from there.
So her answer is we need to see what we need in the tax base and then build it. So what you're suggesting is let's find out how much we need when it comes to spending on all of the things that Democrats, socialists want to spend on. You know, government as your big G God, running your life, giving you everything for free. Let's figure out exactly what it is that we have to spend money on and then take the money from the millionaires and the billionaires. You get it now? That answer is scarier than the non-answer that she gave before. Just got to keep talking about them, everybody. Just got to expose them. And we'll keep it up. All right, we'll see you next week. My name is Drew Steele. This is RightLine.
RightLine with Drew Steele.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. So check before you jet. Avoid delays at TSA security checkpoints by making sure you have an acceptable form of ID. That means a real ID, passport, or other acceptable forms of identification.
Visit tsa.gov/ID to check the full list of acceptable IDs. Avoid travel delays by checking ID requirements, and you're good to go.
RightLine with Drew Steele.
Hey, listen, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us today. We do appreciate it so much. And checking us out here at RightLine News on YouTube and X. Don't forget, we've got the weekday show, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. We do a live show Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. If you want to check out the live show, you can go to @FL like Florida, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you're checking us out in the state of Florida, we're on great radio stations across the state, so you can check the program out. And we will see you next week.